those days are behind me, thankfully. No, we're really happy to have him. I think he's going to do a great job at it. And honestly, it's one less guy over there to hit heads with. So it was a win-win for us.
You did have your first season as a starter last year and a lot more reps to review in the off season. When you went back and looked at 2019, what did you like about your performance, and what's an area you really wanted to focus on this off season and
I think
solidifying?
I think that there was a good foundation set, especially not really having a lot of experience before last year. I thought some things went pretty well, but it's just little things, I think the main thing is just consistency. I would have some really good blocks in games, and then every once in a while a little slip up. So I think that those just eliminating the mistakes throughout the game, and that's what every O-lineman tries to do. Is we're always trying to have a perfect game, and it's pretty impossible to do. But the less mistakes I can make, the better the team is going to do. So I think the main thing is just being consistent and just always having the same technique.
Thanks, Joe.
Jennifer?
Hi. Joe, give me a sense. It's not been that long since you were kind of in the rookie's shoes, although it's been 4 or 5 years. But just what would your advice be to a guy this week, entering the last week of camp? Obviously, it's a very abnormal situation because they don't have any of the preseason games to really kind of judge where they are and what kind of reps they've gotten, but just to try to do the best they can to not get too much into their head as they try to earn a roster spot, especially for guys on the bubble.
Yeah. It's been such a crazy year, especially for the rookies. I couldn't imagine not having a spring ball to learn the offense and, just start to work on technique. So I can only imagine what's going through their head. And I'm sure that they're all swimming a little bit more than usual as well. But I think the main thing is just have fun. They're all going to be trying their best, and you never really know what's going to happen after all the roster cuts and, whoever they decide is the starters and everything like that. I think the main thing for them is just to have fun, because you never know when it could be your last time on the football field. So just enjoy it.
Have you been asked for any advice for any guys or solicited any, or has anyone solicited advice from you about just kind of how you take it each day and work?
Yeah, I think especially in our room, Jonah and Logan are just really good about asking, just asking questions. And that's what you want to do as a young guy is you want to ask people that have been there before. And they're always asking the interior guys. I think Kenny has been a great resource for these guys. He's been around for a long time. He's played a lot of football. So I think that they're constantly asking questions, and that's what they have to do, because they just, like I said, they didn't get a real off season like they're used to.
Dave?
Hey, Joe, good to see you virtually here. Just curious, did you have back surgery last year and you've missed some time a little bit in camp? How are you feeling right now?
No, I didn't have back surgery. But I think everything so far is, just Hank trying to, take care of me. And I think it's really gone well. I think I've had a good camp, and I think Hank's just doing everything he can to make sure that I'm ready for week 1. And I think that he's doing a really good job with that.
And then you just mentioned the rookies. Maybe you could share a little bit more, just your impressions of both those guys. We've seen a lot of Jonah, so maybe a little bit more of Logan too. I know he's learning center, learning, guard, obviously played that in college, but you sort of went through that where you had to learn some center and you were playing guard and doing some different things when you came in.
Yeah. They're both unique guys. They have different skill sets, but they're both extremely hardworking, and I think they're both going to be really good players. I think that Jonah does a really good job of controlling his body right now, and I think that he's got really good football intelligence. I think he played center in college, if I had to guess, at some point, because he's got a pretty good grasp of everything that's going on. And then, Logan's got some really good talent in him. I think right now he's having to learn a lot, and that's just how it goes sometimes, especially playing multiple positions. But I think he's done a really good job. And like I said, they're both, absorbing as much information as they can, and they're both really hardworking guys.
Appreciate it.
Go last question, Justin.
This a personal question. Did you get married this off season?
Yeah. So I actually got married on July 11th. We were lucky enough that the circumstances allowed it. We got married in northern Idaho on Lake Coeur d'Alene. So yeah.
And I guess you said circumstances allowed. I just wondered how much this pandemic really altered or changed the plans for that. We talked a little bit to Christian Jones this offseason, how much it changed it for him. I was just wondering if you had to reduce the guest list or how to go for it.
Yeah, we really didn't reduce the guest list. It's just a lot of people that were out of town ended up not coming, they just didn't want to risk it. And, we totally understood that you got to do what's best and you got to be smart about this whole situation. So I think we ended up having fewer people, but we ended up having like most of the people that were closest to us. I know that it was tough on my wife because a lot of her extended family is from Minnesota and they weren't able to make the trip, but pretty much everybody that was local was able to come, and it was an awesome evening.
More leftover beer for you, Joe.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Joe. We'll be up with Ty Johnson and Jason Huntley next.
Thank you, Joe. Really get a Honda Civic going. You guys got a deep running back room this year. You've got some first team reps, which is some other guys being banged up a little bit this offseason. How are you going about standing out in this group and making that case for a roster spot?
Just showing that I'm more comfortable being in the same offense, being in year 2, just showing that I understand the offense and just being able to just go out and play without thinking too much, really. Just being able to prove that I've grown from year 1 to year 2.
How different is this training camp than last year in terms of the knowledge base, the comfort in the offense? How much better do you feel?
Well, I feel 100% better mentally. It's just crazy. Like, I was talking to my agent about it, like just how much better I've felt just being in the same offense, being in the same system, and being able to just go and play, really not having to worry about, okay, what's going on and everything, just being able to, okay, I know what I got, I understand it, and execute now.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, Ty, with all of that said, how difficult or challenging is it to go through the preseason and try to show what you can do and have learned and secure a roster spot without having the preseason games?
I think it's obviously rough because you're going against the same guys in practice every day, really. Whereas when you have the preseason, you can really showcase what you know and what you've been building off of against another team. So I think it's been rough, but I mean, at the same time, you just got to keep going and keep showing out and showing up every day.
With all of that said, how critical is this final week of training camp for yourself or for other guys, rookies that are fighting to make a roster spot?
Oh, it's the urgency got to go through the roof. You got cuts coming up, and then you got week 1. September. That's when football comes around. You know what I'm saying? So just the urgency level has to be at an all-time high, really. And anything could happen. So it's just lay it out on the line on the field, show the coaches what you got, and then go from there.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, hey, Ty. I know Justin joked about the Jeep, but what do you actually get out of doing something like that?
Honestly, I just had like a harness, and all the gyms were closed, really. So I had a harness. We were all doing like a parking lot workout, me and a few of my good friends from back home, that like my gym friends and everything. And, had a deadlift. We only had so much weight. I think it was only like 135 in weight. But I mean, it was just get the work in, do something. I don't know. It was just people were like, oh, yeah, let's attach it to the Jeep and, pull it. So I was like, all right, cool. So that's what we did.
When you do something like that, do you think like, well, this is getting taped, so there's a chance it might go viral and it might become a thing?
It was what's it called? It was I knew my buddy was taping because I posted that I had the harness on my Snapchat or something like that, and a whole bunch of people were like, yeah, I want to see a video of that. So I was like, oh, cool, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And then when I posted it and everything, like I was just posting it for like people in my hometown, people, my friends and everything that wanted to see it. So I didn't really expect it to really blow up like that.
Appreciate it, Ty.
All right, Dave.
Hey, Ty, you had a couple really nice runs end of the season last year. I don't know if that was the offense clicking, some of that stuff, but just when you sort of end the season on a real positive note like that, what does that do for you in the off season and coming into the summer here?
It just gave me the motivation that I can do it, and just to build off it, really, you know what I'm saying? Just build off it, get more knowledgeable of the system, and just run with that and keep going. So, I mean, that's what I felt like I've done in the off season, being able to train and actually have an off season to train. I mean, it's rough not having OTAs and everything, but being able to have those meetings and everything and still get the training in. Like last year, you go from graduation to pro day training to top 30 visits, and then you are in rookie minicamp, you know what I'm saying? So it's rough to, just build. But I think it's definitely been beneficial for myself this past offseason.
And then April comes around, the Lions draft 2 running backs, 2 guys at your position. What goes through your head when you see that?
I'm excited, you know what I'm saying? These are guys that can help us win games, and I mean, it's competition too, so just match me up to what they got, you know what I'm saying? See where I'm at physically, mentally, and everything. So, competition, and we got great guys that can make plays for us and help us win games, you know what I'm saying?
It didn't make you fear for your future, anything like that? I mean, that never crossed your mind when that happens?
I mean, there's always going to be like, okay, what's going to go on? But I mean, that's what we're here for camp for, you know what I'm saying? To, show what we got and go from there.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ty. Thanks, guys. We'll have Jason here up shortly.
Yes, sir.
Anytime.
Thank you.
On the field so quickly.
Just putting in overtime whenever I go home to the hotel, just making sure I study again. Then with the vets have helped me a lot. Just little things, just teaching me little tricks that they learn, how they will help them to remember it. And then my coach, Kasky, he's been putting overtime with me as well. So that's been helping me. So when I'm on the field, I can just play fast.
In the scrimmage this weekend, you had a few nice runs, including, some goal line stuff at the end. What kind of confidence builder was that in a full contact situation going forward for you?
It felt great. Just to be able to prove that, I can run the ball between tackles when need be. It just felt good to have pads on and go live. It's been so long. So overall, it felt great. A great confidence booster.
Okay, Tim.
Hey, Jason, good to see you again. I think you were the only receiver in this draft class that had over 1,000 receiving yards over your college career. I'm just curious how important that aspect of your game is to you, kind of finding a role on this team, potentially being a third down guy, and how much do you think being an adequate receiver will help you in the long run kind of earn a role?
I think it helps a lot. In this game right now, at the running back position, you have to be able to catch the ball, be able to split you out. So in that situations when you got a linebacker trying to go one-on-one with me, and knowing that I played a lot of wide receiver and caught a lot of balls, it helps us out. It just shows that I'm versatile in situations, so I can play this and that.
Okay, John.
Jason, thank you so much for the time. First, I got a couple quick ones. First, how's the tennis game?
It's been a while, but I think it's still there.
All right. Growing up, you used to watch Deshaun Jackson and Percy Harvin. I'm just wondering, what about their games impressed you, and what you can take away from them for yourself going forward?
Just their speed, the way they play. They play fast all the time, and that's what I want to portray as for my image when people view me. And just just different aspects, like Percy, he's a running back in Florida, so that aspect. And then Deshaun Jackson, he did special teams and he was a receiver. So just watching that just made me want to put it all into my game.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, Chris.
Hey, thanks for the time. So you hit on the receiving and the running aspect of this. Obviously, a big thing for rookies coming in is how early they're able to pick up the blocking schemes and be reliable there. You got some big, heavy, aggressive linebackers you've had to go up against in those drills. Just wondering where you feel you're at in that regard, and even if you had to do a lot of it in college. I think we saw all the highlights, all the film with the ball in your hands, but I don't know how much of that you did in your college scheme.
Just each day, just taking it day by day, getting better in aspects. that just goes with progression of just being in my playbook. So I know where to be and where to look and things like that. So to help me out in the long run. So I think with that, it's just gonna take repetition. Repetition is good for me.
Jen?
Hey, Jason, we were talking to Ty just kind of about the urgency of this week. How do you make sure that you don't put too much urgency or pressure on yourself to try to show something kind of just in this last week of camp?
Overall, you just want to make sure you stick to the fundamentals. You don't want to do too much and just forget, as a running back, I carry the ball a lot. So therefore, like Coach said, the fate of the organization is in my hands, So in that situation, you just want to make sure you continue to do little things just like that, just like carrying the ball and protecting it and things of that aspect.
And one thing that Coach Patricia said to us this morning is that because there aren't preseason games, they were going to try to get some guys situational reps. How much do you welcome just that opportunity to be put into different situations to be able to show what you've got, just, coming down to the cuts this Saturday?
I welcome it a lot. Just give me the opportunity to just go out there and just show that I can do what needs to be done for the team, whatever I have to do to help the team. I'm all for it.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Jason.
it, Jason.